Allahu Akbar.
Whoa, whoa, what's going on?
I heard some noise. From Dearborn to New York, only one nation, under God.
Exquisite.
The question is macro Islam compatible with Western values? Macro. Of course it's not. There are three major reasons why. Islam does not believe in freedom of speech. Islam does not believe in freedom of religion. And Islam does not believe in separation of mosque and state. Those three things are antithetical to the West. In a Muslim majority country, most Muslim majority countries, you cannot criticize the Prophet Muhammad. In most Muslim majority countries, you do not have the same robust freedom of religion protections. And finally, whereas we in the West are very careful to try to intermix religion and state, they are commanded to actually go into the state and try to change the state to be more Islamic around the core pillars of Islam. And the last thing I'll finally say is, I cannot see a single Western country that has become more Islamic and has become a better place to live that is happier or freer.
By what metric? Just happiness, quality of life?
Everything from quality of life, from cultural cohesion, from whether people want to live there, prior to the native-born fertility rates.
Again, people watching this will say is your criticism of the religion itself or not Muslim people? Because there are British Muslims who have been
born there. You don't have to caveat it all the time. I know you guys have to because you're British and all that. A culture ceases to exist when we don't have unified language. When you cannot talk to your neighbor. I'm not discounting that there are good individual Muslims. The question that we need to reckon with the West is Mohammedanism compatible with the teachings of Blackstone? Is it compatible with the legacy of Wilberforce?
All right.
And the great thinkers that have come from this country? And I will say, no, there's a reason why when you go to these Islamic countries that you're not going to see the equal protection of rights, that you do not believe in universal human equality, that you do not believe the same things that we believe in the West. And I think it's suicidal to import millions of them.
Welcome to Truth Legacy, folks. I am so glad you pulled up a chair to join me today. If you love this great country as much as I do, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button, leave a like, and share this video with your friends and family. We share new heartwarming stories here every single day, and I want you to be a part of our daily journey.
American melting pot. We do not want to melt into American society and disappear. We want to go into American society with Islamic ideals and revamp their thinking. We want to revamp them. We want to turn them into Muslim individuals. We shouldn't have feelings of a distaste for them or intolerance because they're potential Muslim. Education is one of the most important areas that Muslims have to address. And while our final objective is not just to become part of the system that we experience now and that we see, our final objective is to create our own Islamic systems, and not only create Islamic systems for Muslims, but to look at all the other people who are sharing this country with us as potential Muslims. And in that long-range process of making America Muslim, all of America Muslim.
Right, but there are many Muslims who don't subscribe to that.
And let's just tease this out.
Yeah.
The authorities of the faith and the Taliban and the Muslim Brotherhood and the Iranian mullahs and, all of the people who are with the Sharia program have a name for the people you're talking about, the people we would call good Muslims.
Infidels.
Apostates.
Apostates, yes.
Which is a capital offense.
Mm-hmm.
So here's the kicker, Laura.
That is true.
And I don't know whether this is true in your experience. It's true in mine.
Mm-hmm.
I'm willing to stipulate that there are a lot of Muslims in this country who probably came here to get away from Sharia wherever they lived.
That's exactly right.
And they don't want to impose it on anybody else.
No.
They don't want to engage in jihad for the purpose.
Mm-hmm.
But they're certainly not interested in being branded as an apostate.
Well, because they'll be killed.
Exactly.
And their
so what does
families
that
and
translate
so on.
into? That doesn't mean they're on our side. That doesn't mean that they're reliably going to stand against this.
Some will.
Maybe. A lot will have their finger in the wind. And our concern is that if the other side is winning.
Just like a lot of Democrats and Republicans right now.
Indeed. They're
It's human nature.
They're going to at least keep their head down, if not go along with the program. The reason that I think it is imperative that we ban Sharia is we give those people protection against what the Sharia supremacist would do to them as well as to us.
And adhere to the cultural norms in our civilization, which, by the way, is the whole reason why people immigrate into the United States, because our culture, I believe, in many ways is superior to other cultures across the globe. We've got to recognize that not all cultures are equal. They're not all equally compatible with America's governing framework. They're not all equally moral. They don't all have equal dignity. And we ought to recognize that bringing in third world countries where some lunatic is grilling a cat in an American park where children are playing around with is a culture that is incompatible with our own.
Speaking of incompatibility, sometimes it's important to compare just broad numbers. The average IQ in Haiti is 68. The average IQ 68 and 67, depending on where the numbers are. I have Grok pulled up here. Between 67 and 68. Average IQ in America is 105. How is that supposed to be compatible? How is that supposed to work? Same thing with Somalia, by the way. The average IQ in Somalia hovers around 70, and that's the threshold for mentally handicapped, according to most psychological theses here in this country.
Folks, let me speak to you straight from the heart, just like I do with my own grandkids. I am an old-timer, born and raised in this beautiful country. I have seen a lot in my days, hard times, good times, and everything in between, but nothing warms my heart quite like seeing our American values protected right now. At this very moment, we are seeing true leadership shining bright. Let me tell you about what is happening today with some folks who tried to demand a completely different set of rules right here in our home. Some people came forward, shouting very loudly. They wanted something called Sharia Law to be used instead of our American laws. They were yelling out words like Islamophobia, trying to make good. Kind Americans feel bad just for loving our own rules and our own way of life. You see, they wanted special rules just for themselves. Rules that do not treat everyone equally. But in America, our Constitution applies to everyone exactly the same, and that fairness is what makes us so special. Well, our 45th and 47th president, Donald Trump, is standing tall for all of us. Today, he saw this happening and he did not blink. He knows that our Constitution is like a strong, warm shield that protects every single citizen, men, women, and children alike. So when these loud folks demanded to break our rules, the president's security team, fine, brave men and women, stepped right up. They did not fuss and they did not shout back. They just firmly, quickly, and safely showed those folks the door. They escorted them right out onto the street, making sure our peace was kept totally safe. And the message from the president is crystal clear today. We have one law here. It is the law of the United States. If people want to live by entirely different laws from the old country, laws that do not treat every single person fairly, they are being sent back to their original countries where they can do just that. They are being deported back home, and our country is staying safe. It brings happy tears to my eyes because it means our children and grandchildren get to grow up in a place where everyone plays by the exact same fair rules. No special treatment, no dividing us up, just pure freedom and fairness for all.
I took an oath to this country and to this Constitution and to the American people. Not to Europe, not to Islam, not to socialists or globalists. This is our country. We get to decide who comes in. We get to decide who leaves.
We got members of Congress, Republicans, that are talking about amnesty. The Dignity Act, it's amnesty. If you're giving people who shouldn't be here status, It's amnesty. All right, I'm not a brain surgeon, but I can figure that one out. But Congress has a bad habit of flapping band-aids, empty resolutions on the crisis of the day. As I talk to some of you out there, it's immigration. Illegal and legal, because we are at war. You may not realize it yet, whether it's China, whether it's the globalists, whether it's the people within our own country that don't believe what you believe. Founding fathers, they fought for something, and it wasn't Islam, and it wasn't the globalists. They fought for a life where they can worship God.
Charlie Kirk once said, I think it was 2 days before he was killed. I think it was 1 day before he was killed. He said, Islam is the sword the left is using to slit the throat of America. Let me read it to you one more time. Islam is the sword the left is using to slit the throat of America. Do you agree with Charlie? Because I do. I do. Because it's all like, hey, let's make it not a big deal. Let's be tolerant. Let's be tolerant Christians. Sharia law has made Islamic societies more advanced than the West. Let's just be tolerant. It's okay. Let's be tolerant. Let's accept all this stuff. Let's allow all this immigration that's going on in UK. It's not a big deal. They're not that bad. It's fine. They don't live the way you do. They just don't. They don't live by the values you and I live in America. They don't.
Have you noticed that a lot of radical Muslims are starting to run on the Democratic side? Have you noticed that? Well, I believe it's both, because both sides are demonic. The Muslims are, the Islam is a demonic religion, not Muslims, but Islam itself is demonic, and I believe the Democratic Party has went totally demonic. Not every voter of the Democrat is demonic, but the party itself is completely demonic. But radical Islam has always been, because Islam thrives on chaos, disorder. It has a Marxist lean to it. This revolutionary, violent, that goes with the left. Even though if you look at the core tenets of Islam, it does not fit with the left. Islam actually is more stricter on homosexuality and LGBT than Christianity is, right? It's stricter on women's rights than Christianity is. Actually, Islam is a stricter religious belief system when you really practice it the way Muhammad meant for it to practice. But there's this combination of Marxism that's happening in our country and union of radical Islam and the Democratic Party, with candidates all like Mandami, radical Clement like Tariq Rashid in the Congress, and the Ilham Omar, which most of them aren't really real Muslims as far as they're practicing Islam, because they're not really practicing their faith. But Islam teaches that you can actually fake Islam to get in power. You can fake, they actually give you, Christianity doesn't do that. But in Islam, there's actually this that you can fake being Islam. You can be a fake Islamic Muslim in order to get to a position of power in a country. It's in their religious belief system, because Islam is all about conquest. And so now you have in the Senate a radical Muslim running, who's making a lot of noise, who could win the primary in Michigan. Their primary was so dangerous to Jewish people. Their convention in Michigan was so dangerous to Jewish people and just people in general, who said that Hamas and Israel, both terrorist organizations, they're the same. This is what's happening. Radical Islam has taken over the Democratic Party. Radical Islam has joined with Marxism to take over the Democratic Party.
Sitting here right now, thinking about the strong actions taking place today, it truly warms this old heart of mine. You know, I watch President Trump working right now, leading us as our 47th president. And he is working so hard to keep our country as safe and strong as a mighty fortress. He is not afraid to say out loud what so many regular, hard-working folks are feeling deep down inside at this very moment. We always happily welcome people who come here with a good heart, ready to work hard, love our freedoms, and raise their kids as proud Americans. But we just do not roll out the red carpet for anyone trying to turn our neighborhoods into places with harsh, unfair rules from the old country. We do not want places where ladies cannot walk freely, where little girls are not treated like the precious, equal blessings they are, or where simply speaking your mind gets you in trouble. That is just not who we are today, and it is not who we will ever be. Right now, the President is making absolutely sure that the United States Constitution stands tall and proud, proving that it does not mix with unfair foreign rules like Sharia law. Our Constitution is a beautiful promise about equal rights for every single person, men, women, and kids, no matter who you are. The other way, well, is a completely different system that tries to make things very unequal by giving some people more power than others. No, thank you. Not on our watch, and certainly not today. Just think about what this exact moment means for everyday families all across our land. I have a sweet neighbor just down the road, a young mother with two beautiful little girls. She's telling me right now, with happy tears shining in her eyes, just how completely grateful she is that President Trump is protecting us. She tells me, I do not want my daughters growing up worrying about some strange foreign rules sneaking into their schools or our towns. And she is absolutely right. Because of the bold, strong choices being made today, our streets feel so much safer right this minute. Mothers and fathers are going to sleep better tonight, knowing our fair laws are being followed, and our beautiful, free American way of life is completely protected for their children.
I do just want to point out that there is a statute that you can denaturalize citizens if their applications were fraudulent, and also too if within 10 years of their naturalization that they committed fraud in the U.S. And so I take this very seriously, and it's very unfortunate that these people chose to do this, because being an American citizen is not a right, it's a privilege, especially if you were not born here. And so with that idea in mind, I would like to say that these criminals took advantage of the very country that gave them refuge. They do not deserve the privilege of remaining here, and frankly, they don't deserve to even be imprisoned here, which is why, as the chairwoman of the El Salvador caucus, I work very strongly with President Bukele, and we also know that CCOT has proven to be a great facility to house people that are denaturalized and deemed not worthy of U.S. citizenship, and I will be making referrals for those individuals if they are found guilty. Thank you for being here today.
Hey Apple, I have a question. Why are there Islamic holidays on our calendars? We are not an Islamic country. We are not a country that was founded on Islamic principles, and thank God for that. My ancestors actually literally fought and died to ensure that. We are one nation under God. It's in our founding documents. We were a country founded on Judeo-Christian values. And that is the reason we have religious freedoms, because where in Islamic countries can Christians freely, openly practice Christianity? Throughout Islam's 1,400-year history, where have they tolerated other religions and allowed other religions to thrive? It's like these leftists are trying to say that we're one big united world. We are not. Islam does not stand for religious freedoms. We don't live in harmony. And they think we're going to now, because they put their holidays in our phones. They want us to tolerate and push tolerance for a religion that does not tolerate us. No, I don't want to be mindful of Islamic holidays. I don't want Islamic holidays to be considered U.S. holidays. We are not compatible. They're not celebrating Easter in the Islamic world, I promise. Stop having tolerance for a group of people that want to enslave you or kill you if you don't convert to their religion, because that's what's taught in their religion. And it's what they've shown us since their founding. Study history. It's important.
Because we're seeing a proactive effort to push Islam into the state of Texas and throughout the country. It goes all the way back to the 1991 Muslim Brotherhood Memorandum, in which they talked about waging jihad with the West. It's purposeful, it's well-funded, it's funded overseas, the Muslim Brotherhood, but also CARE. I introduced legislation last week to make sure that CARE is designated as a terrorist organization. I also want to make sure that we know we need to defend. I was working with a lawyer today that's working to defend Governor Abbott and his Attorney General. I will defend Governor Abbott's position to say that CARE and the Muslim Brotherhood are terrorist organizations. But the reason there's 330 mosques in Texas, the reason there's a mosque in Midland, there's a mosque in Lubbock, is because it's well funded and they're trying to do it peacefully, right? But it's all part of the plan. Oh, don't worry, we're just peaceful. We're going to set up a mosque. We're no problem. Then the next thing you have is Sharia, and the next thing you have is some people in the city council. The next thing you have are prayer calls, and the next thing you have are sirens, and you're dealing with all of the stuff that you're having to manage with Sharia law getting in place that's deeply inconsistent with our way of life. This is a political ideology. If we don't recognize it as a political ideology and we let them hide behind the First Amendment, they're going to take over Texas and the United Kingdom, London, Paris and France, Germany, Dearborn, Michigan, Minneapolis, Mamdani in New York. That is a glimpse of what you're going to see in Texas, in Dallas, Fort Worth, in Epic City, or Houston. And
Iranians today are warning that the current mayor of New York City, Zohran Mamdani's language, his rhetoric, the things that he says and how he phrases them sounds to them very eerily familiar to exactly how the Ayatollah spoke before he seized power in Iran in 1979. I'd like to watch this portion of the special because it is quite mind-blowing.
You'll find Iranian people on social media telling us over and over and over again that the way Mamdani speaks in New York City is exactly the way the Ayatollah was speaking in Iran, word for word, verbatim.
So this is the promises Khomeini made back in 1979, 1979. Look at this. He has promised free water, free electricity, and free buses. Now, does that sound familiar? Have you heard it before? Let's say, I don't know, New York 2024 campaign.
Language, framing. It's one of the key ways Islamists gain popularity and power within elected political positions here in America.
It is so well documented. The Islam cannot come to colleges and say, we're going to make everybody dress like this. You're going to follow the dress codes or we'll kill you. We're going to marry young girls off at 9 years old. They can't sell that. What they can sell is Marxism. And so they soften the language and say, oh, this other stuff is crazy. They soften the language. But in the meantime, their goal is for a global caliphate. And in the documentary, we show their number one target is America. In fact, they say, if we gain the whole world, but we lose America, we have failed. They must have America. We are the great Satan. Israel's a little Satan. We're the great Satan. They must have America. And they are so far down this road.
Let us look at the big picture together right now. Our beautiful country is built on the wonderful idea that everyone can pray however they want, but we all must share one single fair law. Our founding fathers made sure of that, so we would do. Always stay united as one big happy family. Today, President Trump understands that perfectly. He is sending a very clear, bright message to the whole world at this exact moment. If you want to come here to join the greatest nation on earth, to love our flag and to cherish our freedoms, our door is always open. But if you come to change us or push unfair rules on our towns, the door is closed. By safely moving these rule breakers out today, he is protecting our children's schools, our peaceful neighborhoods, and our beautiful way of life. Right now, with the world outside feeling a little noisy and confused, President Trump is standing firm like a strong, comforting brick wall for all of us. He is not just protecting our borders today. He is wrapping a big protective hug around our most treasured values. I am getting choked up just thinking about it right this second. I am sitting here looking at the American flag waving gently in the breeze, and my heart is just filling up with so much hope. We do not have to worry about our precious grandchildren growing up in a country that feels unfair. His vision right now is so simple and pure, an America that is strong, completely free, and very proud. So those folks who tried to demand special rules are learning today that our Constitution is the only thing that guides us. They are safely heading back to their original homes, and the rest of us are breathing so much easier right now. Families are feeling perfectly safe. Our communities are smiling today. Our beautiful flag is waving brighter than ever before. Millions of us are standing proudly with him today because he is standing right beside us. May God bless President Donald Trump. May God bless our brave troops, and may God bless the United States of America. We are safe, folks, and America First is shining beautifully today. Well, my dear friends, that is the heartfelt story I wanted to share with you today. If this message made your heart swell with joy and pride for our beautiful country, please go ahead and hit that like button right now. Leave a comment down below and tell me what you love most about being an American. I truly love reading every single one of your wonderful thoughts. And please make sure to subscribe to Truth Legacy so we can sit together again tomorrow for another uplifting, positive story. Keep the faith, folks, and keep waving that beautiful flag.